Ofsted are responsible for inspecting and regulating education for children and young people, and it also includes various social care settings. There are a number of reasons why a service might want to challenge an inspection or an inspection report. They may have concerns about the inspector on the day of the inspection. That could relate to the processes that the inspectors followed or not followed, or they could relate to the inspector's conduct on the day of the inspection. Following receipt of the draft inspection report, a provider might have concerns about the findings of the inspection. They may also have concerns about the individual or overall gradings that have been awarded by the inspector. It's really important that you consider what evidence you have to support the complaint that you're making. For example, if you are disagreeing with the judgments or the findings of an inspector, what evidence do you have to support what you are saying? You do have an option within the online complaints form to upload documents. So that can include statements from staff, or it can include records that you keep within the setting. It's really important as well that you read Ofsted's guidance. That's the guidance that they issue to inspectors about inspections, as well as their handbooks on how they reach their conclusions and their overall gradings. It's important that you refer to that guidance within your complaint if you feel that the inspector hasn't followed any of those processes. So really read those and understand what they say. Another key point is when you have the call with the investigating officer, quite often they talk about grouping together elements of the complaint. It's fine for them to do that, but you need to make very clear that you want every aspect of the complaint responded to. They can fail to respond to every aspect of the complaint, so it's really important you make that clear within the call. Ofsted recommends that if your complaint relates to an inspection report, that you wait until the report has been published. Providers will have concerns about that. Normally they want to prevent publication of the report, or they want to challenge it so that the changes are made prior to it being published, to limit the impact on their reputation and their business. Once the complaint has been submitted, the investigation will be allocated to an investigating officer. They will normally be an inspector in a different region that has no involvement in the inspection process. They will normally contact the person who's made the complaint early on in that process to discuss the themes in the complaint, make sure that they understand the main concerns, and then they will then have 30 working days within which to respond from the date that the complaint was submitted. When a provider receives a draft inspection report, there's a factual accuracy process. That's quite a limited process and it differs depending on the type of service. Any challenges to the inspection findings, judgments, or the inspector's conduct would need to be taken through the complaints process. If providers want to make a formal complaint, that needs to be done using Ofsted's online complaint form. Ofsted recommends that if your complaint relates to an inspection report, that you wait until the report has been published. They recommend that it's submitted within 10 working days of publication of that report. It is really important that providers get the complaint right. It can be the difference between having a positive or a negative outcome. So it's really important that if you are considering making a complaint, that you do seek legal advice from the outset. We can prepare that complaint on your behalf, we can liaise with Ofsted on your behalf, and we can take some of that pressure off you and make sure that the process is handled correctly.